Hi, I'm Steve Worthington, storyboard artist and sculptor, and I'm going to show you how to use junk mail like this to improve your figure drawings like this. So hop over to my drawing board. You can see what a grimy, disgusting mess of a drawing board you end up with when you're a professional storyboard artist. We get tons of this junk mail coming into our house, and I love it because I can draw skeletons all over everything. So the reason that's useful is that when you're doing figure drawing, you're really basing everything on skeletal landmarks as to where you start your lines and end them, and having a feeling of where you're going with your drawing. So practicing them is pretty invaluable in my opinion. So as much of this stuff as you can get, and use a Sharpie, and the Sharpie weirdly doesn't like show through on the other side of the page either, so you can draw figures on both sides of the same page and work on what you know. And the point of doing this is to find out what you don't know. So really what you want to do when you're learning the skeleton is use a plastic skeleton or some kind of online reference if you don't have one, and try and understand the forms and learn them as well as you can, and then put all that aside and then practice drawing it, and then you'll see what you don't know, because what you thought you know you didn't, because it's not showing up in your drawing or it's looking all wrong. So then you just go back, reanalyze, try and understand a little better, simplify the forms a little further, just get to the point where you feel like you've learned something, then go back, maybe draw some more skeletons over these bits of junk mail, and you know, see how much better they are. And gradually over time you'll increase your knowledge of the skeleton, and then when you're drawing from life you'll be pretty quickly and easily able to recognize the key landmarks that you're wanting to aim for, the bits of the bone that you can actually see on the surface in particular, and knowing what else is going on under the surface as well will inform your figure drawing as a whole. Don't worry about making beautiful drawings or anything like that. This is basically trash after all, and it's just a way for you to find stuff out and improve. You could, if you wanted to, use tracing paper over the top if you wanted to keep repeating over the same figures. I mean, we get so much of this stuff that all the same figures keep reappearing in sort of variations and duplications of the same mail, so don't have to worry too much about that. But you know, you can use tracing paper if you prefer. There are a lot of skeletal landmarks which you can learn about. There's plenty of videos and stuff on YouTube regarding all that stuff. It's just a great way to practice drawing them, and once you're pretty familiar with them you can draw them fairly easily. And once you can do that, especially if you can do them from your imagination, then when you have a model in front of you you can spot those landmarks really quickly, and it really does help your drawing. I think I prefer drawing skulls that don't have sunglasses on, because you can put the eye sockets in more clearly. But anyway, there you go. Cool looking skull wearing sunnies. That one was 3.5 minutes. This one was 5. And this approach I used the kind of silhouette, find your way into it by just putting down the big shapes first and then drawing a little bit of a contour. This was 1.5 minutes, so it's not very complete, and you know, they're not perfect, but they're better than they would be if I didn't know anything about drawing or know anything about skeletons in particular, because there's quite a few landmarks in here. And this one was 3 minutes, but even so, in 3 minutes you can indicate there are certain parts of the foot and around the knee, and which line goes over the front of which other line, parts of the pelvis, muscles around there, sort of lower ribs. So where these lines start from, they're all skeletal landmarks, and learning skeletal landmarks is kind of a key to improving your figure drawing. So that's all I've got to say on that. So hopefully you'll enjoy yourselves and get more out of it. Cheers!